As Phil graduated from Indiana Beta, he became a regional director. I think that had a tremendous impact on his life.
He was working really closely with our Virginia Beta chapter, Virginia Commonwealth University, and they were running a deficit. They were really underwater. And Phil said, you know, it's horrible to saddle them with this debt. This is a great group. I really feel good about the SigEps on this campus. And so in order to avoid them going further into debt, Phil wrote a personal check for their utilities every month. It wasn't only at Virginia Beta where he did this. Phil's generosity really extended in a lot of different areas, and he did it in Indiana Beta too. There were times when Phil was the person that personally guaranteed the loan on the chapter house for Indiana Beta.
He was there for the chapter in many ways. He was not only a financial supporter of great import, but he was also someone who was helping us set the platform. We wanted to be a balanced man chapter. What did that entail? What kind of people would we look for? What kind of young men would aspire to be SigEps?
It took a few good players to get involved, and Phil was very instrumental in helping us get to that stage where we were able to reorganize and get the house going again, and which led to where we are today.
I think for that level of commitment, into an organization like that, it shows that it's not something that he likes to do on the side where he can squeak in 3 hours here. It's something that is on his mind 24/7.
This board will continue to look for ways to do a better job recruiting, training, and recognizing volunteers at the chapter level.
There are few people that you meet that have such an abiding focus as Phil in terms of his focus on volunteerism and his passion in that regard.
There's no way to have a healthy, strong chapter unless you've got strong, dedicated, consistent alumni support. And he's known that and been a champion for that since he's been an undergrad.
Phil was one of the first people to recognize there's a direct correlation between how good our chapters are and how good our volunteers are. Today's student is craving interaction with successful, engaged alumni.
Phil spends an inordinate amount of time on Sigma Phi Epsilon, right? Both from a local perspective as well as a national perspective. I think what's interesting is over periods of time, the volunteers change, but Phil has been the one consistent.
He realized that things just don't happen. They happen for a reason. There's not continuity at certain chapters over time just by chance. They happen for a reason. And he was one that looked for the cause behind all that and why this was the case.
If you look, the chapters that we have that excel, every single one of them, every one of them is supported by a full complement of volunteers.
Fraternities and sororities are in the middle of a clash of cultures. Leadership has never been more necessary, and Phil recognizes the urgency of that.
If we're going to be a partner in higher education, if we want institutions to look at us and say, that's the kind of group we want to partner with, that's the kind of group we want on our campus, you've got to have strong volunteers to make that happen.
We thought of no better way to honor both Phil and the fraternity by funding the Phillip A. Cox Volunteer Institute.
To be able to help develop young guys long into the future, we have to train our leaders. We have to train more leaders. We have to increase the interest level among alumni to becoming leaders, and the focus of Volunteer Institute will help get that done.
I think obviously the legacy is going to be focused on volunteerism and the support of volunteerism and bringing a focus to volunteerism. We want to help fund Phil's passion in that regard with this project, and it's truly an honor for me and Melanie to be involved in this.
Kenda and I know a lot of others that have supported this effort, know that it's not only something that's important to the fraternity, it's something that we have to do. It's absolutely critical to the health of our chapters to have a strong volunteer group. And in fact, our very future at SigEp depends on it.
We are a better fraternity because of his involvement. That's why it's important for Deb and I to support this endeavor.